Most people pick supplements by the picture on the bottle. I read the label like I'm signing a contract. The supplement industry is regulated more like food than like medicine. Most of what's on the shelf is underdosed compared to the research that supports its claims. Some of it's contaminated with ingredients that aren't on the label at all. I run 4 checks on every supplement before it goes into my body. And in this video, I'll show you how to do all 4 of them in 5 seconds. Quick context, I'm not a doctor. I'm a functional nutrition coach who's spent years building supplement protocols for myself and for my clients. I've also spent years reading labs and watching brands that look great on the front end fail on the back end. These 4 checks are what I do every single time. Once you've done them a few times, the whole process takes about 5 seconds. Check 1, is the product third-party tested? This is the most important check by a wide margin, because here's the regulatory reality. Supplements aren't pre-market approved by the FDA. Companies don't have to prove their products are safe or that they contain what the label says before they sell them. The FDA gets involved after something goes wrong, when somebody gets sick, or when a competitor flags something, or when independent researchers find contamination. There's a paper from JAMA Network Open in 2018 that analyzed the FDA's tainted supplements database from 2007 to 2016. Hundreds of products were found to contain undeclared pharmaceutical ingredients, antidepressants, anabolic steroids, withdrawn weight loss drugs. The kicker is that in more than half of those cases, the products were not recalled even after the contamination was identified. Third-party testing closes that gap. An independent lab verifies the product contains what the label actually says and nothing the label doesn't. Look for seals like Consumer Lab, USP, NSF, or Informed Sport. Some brands also publish their certificate of analysis directly on the website. That's even better. No seal, no published COA, no third-party verification of any kind. I don't buy it. So that's check 1. Check 2. What form of the ingredient is it? This is where most people lose money without realizing it. Because 2 supplements can have the same exact ingredient name on the label, the same milligrams in the bottle, and one of them works and the other doesn't. The form determines bioavailability. Bioavailability determines how much your body actually absorbs and uses. The best example is magnesium. There's a controlled clinical study from 1994 published in the Journal of Parenteral and Enteral Nutrition. They compared magnesium glycinate to magnesium oxide. Same dose in different forms. Glycinate is absorbed roughly 4 to 5 times more efficiently than oxide. Same logic applies to B12. Methylcobalamin is the bioavailable form. Cyanocobalamin is the cheap form. Same with folate. Methylfolate is what your body actually uses. Folic acid has to be converted, and many people don't convert it well. Same with iron, curcumin, CoQ10. The form is the contract clause that determines whether the supplement has done its job. Same name on the label, but a completely different result. Check 3, what's the actual dose? This is where the underdosing problem lives. Most supplements at retail are dosed at a fraction of what the clinical research actually used to support the claim on the label. An example is curcumin. The active compound in turmeric has been studied for inflammation, joint health, brain health. The clinical trials that support those claims typically use 500 to 1,000 milligrams of standardized curcuminoids per day. Many of the curcumin products you'll find on shelves contain 50 or 100 milligrams. The label can still claim it supports joint health because curcumin does support joint health in the right dose. Magnesium for sleep. Clinical trials typically use 200 to 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium. Many retail products contain 50 to 100, and they're often the cheap oxide form on top of that. The check is to look at the per serving dose on the label. Compare it against the dose used in the research for whatever claim the product is making. If you can't remember the clinical dose, examine.com has the doses for almost every ingredient. If the product is half or less of the clinical dose, it's probably not going to do what the bottle suggests. Real dose or token dose, that's check 3. And check 4, the other ingredients section. Here's my general rule. The fewer unnecessary ingredients, the better. Quality manufacturers keep this list short and functional. Lower care manufacturers fill it with cosmetic ingredients that don't help the product work, colors to make it look better, sweeteners to make it taste better, fillers to lower their cost. Short and clean, the brand is taking care. Long and cosmetic, they're prioritizing something other than quality. That's the filter. Here are the categories I put a bottle down for. Number 1, artificial colors and dyes. Red 40, yellow 5, blue 1. They serve no functional purpose in a supplement. They're there to make the pill or gummy look more appealing. If they're in there, the brand made a choice. I'd rather buy from a brand that didn't. 2. Titanium dioxide, often used as a white coloring agent in pill coatings. In 2021, the European Food Safety Authority concluded they could no longer call it safe as a food additive. They couldn't rule out genotoxicity. The EU banned it from food in 2022, and the US still allows it. So you can decide which regulator you want to follow. 3. Artificial sweeteners, things like sucralose or aspartame, common in powders, chewables, drink mixes. Again, cosmetic. They're there for taste, not function. And 4, added sugars and sugar alcohols. This one's most common in gummies. Sometimes there's more sugar in the gummy than the actual active ingredient. If you're paying for a vitamin and you're actually getting a candy with a vitamin in it, that's not a vitamin, it's just a candy. Not everything on the other ingredients line is cosmetic. Some things are functional manufacturing aids. They actually help the product exist. Magnesium stearate is the most common example. It lubricates pill pressing machinery, and without it, the machinery jams. It gets attacked a lot online, but the evidence at normal supplement doses doesn't support those concerns. FDA, EFSA, primary toxicology studies all say it's fine in the amounts used. It's functional, not cosmetic. Same with silicon dioxide. It's an anti-caking agent that keeps powders from clumping. And same with cellulose. It's a plant-based capsule material. These are functional. Knowing the difference between cosmetic additives and functional manufacturing aids is what separates someone who reads labels well from someone who is just pattern matches what they're reading online. One more thing while we're on labels: proprietary blends. When a product lists 5 ingredients grouped together under a proprietary blend with a single total dose number, you don't know how much of each individual ingredient you're actually getting. The label can claim impressive ingredients while putting a token amount of each one in. This is where a lot of underdosing hides. If a product uses a proprietary blend instead of disclosing the individual doses, I treat it the same way I treat a long list of cosmetic additives. The brand is prioritizing something other than transparency. So that's check 4. Less is more, short and functional is good, long and cosmetic is bad. Once you've done this a few times, the whole thing takes about 5 seconds. So here's how I run it. Step 1, flip the bottle. Look for a third-party testing seal or a COA mention. No seal, you can put it back down. That takes 1 second. Step 2, look at the ingredient list. What form is the active ingredient? Methylated, glycinated, chelated, or the cheap version? That takes 1 second. Step 3, look at the per serving dose. Compare that against the clinical dose for that ingredient. It takes a few seconds to look up online. And step 4, scan the other ingredients line. Titanium dioxide, artificial dyes, move on. That takes a couple seconds. 5 seconds, and now you know whether the bottle is worth your money, or whether the marketing is doing more work than the product is. If you take one thing from this video, take this. The supplement you buy is only as good as the contract on the back of the bottle. 4 checks, just a few seconds, apply them every time, and the product that actually works start to stand out. If you want to start asking better questions about your own body and finally get to the root of your chronic health issues, make sure you subscribe. We're on a mission to help 1 million people get off symptom managing medication and finally heal the root cause. Click to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're looking for additional support, potentially working with our functional practice, click the link in the description to schedule a free consultation. Gut first, everything else follows.